Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. First of all, Tashi Delay, and a very good evening to each and every one of you. And I would like to wish all of you a happy Buddha Purnima. Um, First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Kunga Chindan. I'm the program coordinator of Tibet House, New Delhi, the cultural center of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, New Delhi. And it is my absolute honor and privilege to extend my warm welcome to each and every one of you who are physically present for this auspicious occasion of Buddha Purnima, or you can also call it as Vesak. And as we gather today, we are truly delighted by your presence. And I would like to express my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for taking out your valuable time. And of course, this afternoon, we had this very great opportunity to pay homage to the to the sacred Buddha relics. And now I can see most of you who are very much familiar because we have already been there at the National Museum, and now all of you once again you are all here for this evening program we have for this Bodhicitta Day. And I would also like to add that it's a great significance that you have showed up today for this wonderful event we have. So before we move on, I would like to give you a very brief introduction about Buddha Purnima. Buddha Purnima is also known as Vesak or Buddha Jayanti, which is celebrated to commemorate the birth, enlightenment, and the parinirvana of Gautama Buddha, who is the founder of Buddhism. It is observed on the full moon day of the Vesaka month, which typically falls mostly in April or May. It is considered a very significant day for Buddhists worldwide, marking the thrice blessed festival due to these three pivotal events occurring on the same day, which is the birth, enlightenment, and the parinirvana of Lord Buddha. Now, on this sacred occasion of Vesak Day, when millions across the globe pause to reflect on the life and teachings of Gautama Buddha, the enlightened one, we gather in a spirit of peace, unity, and spiritual renewal. The message of Vesak is one of the compassion, non-violence, and liberation, values that resonate across all faiths and tradition. Now, with this, I would like to welcome once again, I would like to welcome all the physical participants, as well as I would like to welcome all the online participants as well who are joining with us in YouTube live streaming. At the same time, I would like to welcome all the online participants, the Zoom online participants from Russia, from French, and then we have from Hindi and with Ladakhi. So thank you very much, every one of you, for being here. And without any further ado, now I would like to request our director, Venerable Geshe Doje Damdula, to kindly move on with this session. Venerable Geshe-la.
Thank you, Congratulations, and all the translators, as well as our IT staff, and all the participants, both offline and online. And as Congratulations so nicely explained, the Buddha Purnima Day or the Vesak Day, the day which corresponds to three important events of the Buddha's life: the birth, enlightenment, and Mahaparinirvana. And with respect to Mahaparinirvana, in simple terms, is the demise, the Buddha having left the world of this body. But the Buddha's biography is to be understood on two levels. One is how the ordinary people understand it, and the other what corresponds to the reality. And what we see as the Buddha having taken birth, and then leaving the palace and in search of the path, to look for a solution to all the problems of the world, and eventually then become enlightened, the eternal will of Dharma, and finally assuming Mahaparinirvana. So these are all like the demo or demonstration or display of the Buddha's activities to benefit the sentient beings like us. And in reality, the Buddha is like the moon up in the sky, and whether or not you have the reflection of the moon in the water bodies is determined by whether or not you have the water. If the water dries up, the reflection of the moon in the water automatically disappears. Whereas as long as the water is there, the reflection of the moon is seen. So likewise, that the water is the metaphor for the karma, positive karma, to experience the benefit of the Buddha's presence. When that karma exhausts, the water of the positive karma to experience the blessings of the Buddha exhausts, then the reflection of the Buddha on the surface of the water disappears. So this is what we see as ordinary people. We see as the Buddha swimming Mahaprabhu in Nirvana. In reality, the moon up there is always there. So you, me, any one of us, your parents, your children, your family members, anyone who attains enlightenment or who becomes Buddha, for you there is no death. So with this in mind, we need to remember the Buddha's biography on two levels. One is how the ordinary people sees the Buddha's biography and how they realized or the inactuality of what the reality of the Buddha's existence is like. So having said this, the Buddha himself made it very clear in the sutras where you find a mention that on these auspicious occasions, the Buddha's birth and so forth, where the beings, they commemorate this event and to engage in any act of virtues, the merit that you accumulate is going to be multiplied thousandfold times. So keeping this in mind, all the participants, both offline, online, let us engage in this practice of particularly take the aspiration of Bodhisattva vow. And as Kunga Chundala, our program coordinator, indicated that those who are present here in Delhi, so many of us joined this program, and particularly the director general of the National Museum, India, the capital, Delhi. He so kindly made this National Museum, particularly the Buddha's relics, accessible to the audience, particularly the visitors from Tibet House on this Buddha Purnima Day at the request for Tibet House, that he so kindly agreed to make it accessible, although today corresponds to Monday, which is holiday for the National Museum. So this is a great, kindness of the Director General of National Museum, Delhi. So having said this, let's see how to make the most of our being together here, online, offline, both. And finally, that just as the flower, to what extent the flower blossoms is determined by the various factors like the sunshine, the water, the manure, and so forth. Likewise, to what extent our virtue, to what extent we can experience joys and happiness, to what extent you can feel the success of your family, to what extent the children, they grow so well without illness, without distractions, and so forth, and to what extent the parents, you live healthy without any health complications, and so forth, is all determined by the certain factors. These factors are referred to as the merit accumulation. So our being together is primarily to make sure that we engage in merit accumulation to the best we can. And although we are in the same place and we spend same amount of time, who accumulates what amount of merit is not determined by the place, the location, time, and so forth. How much time that you invest is more about how you contemplate, how you think. So setting a proper motivation, that makes a whole difference. So with this in mind, let's make sure that our time together on this special, extremely sacred day be utilized in the most effective way, where you accumulate as much merit as possible within your capacity. So with this in mind, let us, the setting proper motivation, as great Tibetan masters say, that to engage in virtues, there are two things to keep in mind. One at the outset and the other at the end. At the outset, setting proper motivation, and at the end, dedicating merit properly. So these two things decide how much merit that you accumulate and to what extent this merit is going to be used very productively. So with this mind, setting proper motivation, let us okay, Dr. Kumudla, this space here. And also here, both sides. So with this mind, setting proper motivation. Let us reinforce the visualization of all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in space in front of us, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, as I said earlier. It's not that, for example, like my mom passed away, my father passed away. And the Buddhas, they are not like that. My mom and my father, they passed away. But the Buddha, for Buddhas, there's no passing away. So it's all about our karma. If we truly invoke the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly the Buddhas, then Buddhas are literally, they are around us. So with this mind, let us invoke Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, particularly the 17 great Nanda Masters, with us in space in front of us, are so loving, caring, and embracing. And let us also reinforce the visualization of your two grandparents and all of our members, including children and all the human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, god and goddesses, spirits, including the vegetations, beautiful ecology to the world, the blue planet. Think of all these within our mind. And imagine that you are like the mother, giving the maximum love and affection to your children, that you give to you. Think of the maximum love and affection towards all the demon sentient beings. And the purpose of being together here is with the recognition that each one of us, we have the Buddha nature. We have the Buddha nature, and that the Buddha nature, seed of perfection within us. And that needs to be awakened. And that needs to be awakened. And what helps us awaken this Buddha nature is the wisdom. The wisdom to see the reality in its fullest form, in width and in depth. And this wisdom must be motivated, must be driven by the power of the Bodhicitta, the desire to be awakened for the benefit of all sentient beings. So with this in mind, let us take a few seconds to invoke the spirit, may I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. When I say may I become Buddha, it's not Buddhism. It's about may I awaken my seed of perfection, seed potential within me to the fullest. This is the meaning of what we are generating here. So with this mind, let us turn to page 3 of the book. And those of us, the offline, page 3, and online, this is screen sharing. Okay, keep in mind that reciting these verses, reciting these passages, or reciting the passages, reading these, and the verses, there are 3 ways of doing it. Number 1, where the words flow, but the meanings are not reflected and the experience is not invoked. Words flow. Number 2, words flow and the meanings reflected. Number 3, words flow, meanings reflected, and experiences invoked. 3. Of the 3 versions of spending time reading these on the precious texts, of the 3, the third one is of the greatest benefit. The third one has the greatest benefit, as I said earlier, spending the same amount of time and at the same location, with the same surrounding, but how much merit that you accumulate is entirely dependent upon the individual. If you think of rating these, getting involved in this program through these 3 things, keep in mind, number 1, where the words flow and the meanings reflected and the experiences invoked. No doubt that you are, say, the obstacles to your life. For example, some people, they're prone to become sick, ill, and so forth. And some people, on the verge to succeeding in your career, again, some kind of problems or the obstacles come in the way. So these are the indications that your merit is less. Now we need to rejuvenate. We need to replenish the merit accumulation by making sure that whatever time that we spend together is spent in the most effective way. Keep in mind the 3 ways of doing that. The way where the words flow, meanings reflected, and experiences involved. Okay, so just imagine that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us. Ready? Page 3. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Sanye joda zoge jo nam lo chanju pado dane gyabzu che dage jenso kebe so nam ge tola penjire sanye dubarai sho sanye joda zo chanju pado dane gyabzu che dage jenso kebe so nam ge tola penjire sanye dubarai sho Sanya joda zoge chonam la chanju bardo dane yazu che age jinso kebe sonam ge dola benjir sanje dubarai sho. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. In dependent origination, there is no ceasing, no rising, no annihilation, no coming, no going, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, and no sameness. I persuade to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace, which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all lead here seeking pacification to complete peace, which through the knowledge of past causes those helping migrators to achieve the aims of the world, and through the possession of which have subdued as expounded varieties of teachings, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teachers who guide and protector, to you are my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the advanced bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha are my prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, since there are a number of new phases here, I'd like to quickly explain this mantra, which is on next page, essence of dependent origination mantra. I'm going to quickly explain this, and those of us who are already familiar with this mantra or being with Tibetas for long, for you this is going to be like the revision. For others, I'm going to explain this very quickly. So this mantra is extremely important, and in fact, this mantra is the one which the Buddha taught in the heaven, where on the Buddha and the Indra and the kings of the gods and goddesses and all the great students of the Buddha, disciples of the Buddha, such as Avalokiteshvara and so forth, they were present. Then Avalokiteshvara, seeing that there are so many god and goddesses who came to receive blessings from the Buddha, Avalokiteshvara stood up and prostrated to the Buddha and informed this to the Buddha, the most venerable Tathagata. All the god and goddesses, they came to receive blessings from you. And they want to know how to accumulate enormous amount of merit within a short span of time. And we think that, for example, each one of us, we think that, okay, I have the material, I'm well off, I'm very comfortable, I lead a very comfortable life because all these facilities with me, we take for granted. These facilities, if we check as to where they come from, And some also, we may think that, oh, this is from my parents, it's my own effort and so forth. But just keep this in mind, that how much effort did you put? For example, let's say X amount of effort. And there are millions of people who put the same amount of the effort, but how many people succeed? Only few succeed, and you're one of them. Why you succeeded and the others, millions, fail? They could not accrue the same amount of the benefit as much as you did. Why? Because behind that there's one force which you don't see. You think that is my effort. Anybody can put the same effort, but the outcome is not the same. For example, like some people, when they put a lot of effort in studies, truly study well, and they're also extremely intelligent. They study so well, they don't really waste time going after the Instagram, Facebook, hours and hours, and they're going to the pubs, nightclubs, and so forth. Instead, they really work so hard, and they become so confident that I can crack this UPS exam very easily. And the next day is going to be exam, and today you have a severe the cold or flu problem. Finish, you cannot sit for the exam. So you put a lot of effort, but why you don't succeed is because there's another force, unseen force. And don't think that there's some external agent which is deciding you. No. If there's an agent, that agent should be, say, to somebody all loving and all kind, not biased towards you or not biased to somebody else or not being unkind to you. No, there's one agent which is behind. That is your own positive karma, your own merit. When the merit is lacking, no matter what you do, things don't turn up in your favor. Whereas when the merit is there, you put a little effort and things automatically, everything falls in place. It's so like you travel. Sometimes when you travel by car in Delhi, so they say you move and the red light moves and it comes to green. And you move and the next one, again, the red light automatically becomes is green. It's so like there is a whole traffic is in your favor. Sometimes red light and blue next light, and the green next, and the moment you reach there, it becomes red. And again, red. How do you notice that results? Offline, online, both? Yes. So nobody is saying that, okay, now this girl is coming, this boy is coming. We have to make it red. Nobody's doing that. There's some force. Sometimes there's some emergency cases there, and all the lights are red, and you just fail to reach on time. And sometimes there's emergency case there, and it's so like the red lights in your favor. Green. That's amazing. So there is there's another agent there. It's not an external agent. It's your own karma. It's your own positive, the merit that you accumulate in the past. So accumulated merit is so important. The next question is, how can we accumulate? It's not that somebody is accumulating for you. We have to accumulate our own merit. For example, your parents can create all the facilities for your studies, but you have to study. If you really want to become the Nobel laureate in physics, your parents cannot study for you. They can create the facilities for you, but you have to study. Likewise, people are there to help you, assist you. The Buddhas, enlightened beings are there to assist you to create the merit, but you have to do the actual act of accumulate merit. So how to accumulate merit? This next question. So this mantra, Ye Dharma, essence of dependent origination mantra, meaning that the merit accumulation is the result, a result which originates by dependence on your previous causes. What kind of causes? Say, happiness that you want is necessary as a result of the virtues. You have to accumulate virtues yourself. Nobody can accumulate virtues for you. And if you embrace the non-virtues, the result you're going to experience is only miseries. So always entering up into nightclubs, pubs, and the Facebook, Instagram, so forth, and then expecting that you study for one night, and then you're expecting that you crack the UPSC exam. This is totally unrealistic. So this mantra is, don't expect this mantra is the miracle. You recite this and some miracle happens to you. Don't expect that. The real miracle is that you know how to be realistic. If you want happiness, it must come from your effort, not from laziness, not from indulgence. If you engage in indulgence and laziness, the only result that you can expect is your miseries, the tears. This is what this mantra is saying, telling us. So, Om Ye Dharma, these Ye Dharma meaning these phenomena, Hetu, cause, Prabhava, arise. These phenomena of the miseries, they arise from the causes. These phenomena of the happiness arise from causes. So they're all the causally connected. Hetu Prabhava. Hetum Tesham Tathagato Hyavatat. Hetum is the plural form of the cause. And Tesham, these causes. What are these causes of the miseries? Embracing of which you will suffer all the time. You will have to shed tears all the time. Tathagato Hyavatat is taught by the Tathagato. Tathagato Hyavatat. Hyavatat means set. So what these causes are is set by the Tathagata. Tathagata meaning the Buddha. Tesham Chayo. Tesham is these. Chayo is whatever. Whatever of these causes, we can bring an end to this. Nirodha, cessation. We can bring an end to this cause of the miseries. We can bring an end. How to do that? Evam is thus. Vadi is again taught. Evam Vadi. Mahashramana, great saint. Great saint meaning somebody who has actually experienced these realities, that engaging in non-virtues will only end up into miseries and tears, and engaging virtues will give rise to joys and happiness. So this is the efficacy of the cause and effect being taught. So from this, we should learn how to be realistic. So every time we recite this mantra, it should give us a feeling that I should become realistic. Oftentimes I tell people that some people, they're extremely kind, who just from birth, they have been naturally animal activists, really fighting for the cause of the animals. And some people, they're amazingly natural environmentalist, and the environmental activist, amazing, really fighting for the environment, really fighting for the animals and so forth, for the voices. So I tell them that if you really want to fight for the animals rights and the ecological rights, if you really want to fight there, you have to really study this cause and effect. What you're expecting is the cause, it's a result, and that should come from a respective cause. You have to identify what the cause are. So you have to have a thorough understanding of the cause and effect, dependent origination understanding. Then you can really fight for the animals' rights and the rights of the ecology. So this is where this mantra should make us become a very realistic person rather than following blindly. Okay, with this mind, let's recite these 3 times together by reflecting on the meanings of these 4 lines. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vati Mahashramanaye Swaha. Meaning of chanting Imbu mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well is taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration free, clear light, and non-composite. Such is the nectar of Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I return to woods. Beyond our friend's thought and expression is the professional wisdom, which is unborn, unseized, and has nature space. is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times, my obeisance. The 4 seals of Buddha's teachings. All composite things impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain in give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of eons. Okay, I may invite Shalini, I'll invite you to lead the continuing the prayers. No need this. Okay, we are on page 14. Page 14, praise to Shakyamuni Buddha.
To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the fourth destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you, who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, fame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like a spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incomparable wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the Tathagata, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, the holy feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the Sangha, I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through these merits, may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the 4 faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 29, the Heart Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time. The Buddha was dwelling on mass of Vultures Mountain in Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya of Lukteshwara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya of Lukteshwara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Vlukteshwara said this to the Venerable Sharadvati Putra, Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomena. There is no I element, and so on up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly, completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared, Yatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Vlukteshwara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoiced. The Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvati Putra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Vlukteshwara, those surrounding in the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha.
Okay, we will recite this mantra 5 times together. Yatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Yatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Yatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha Yatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Swaha.
By the teachings of the three supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may inner and outer hindrances be transformed. May they be dispelled. May they be non-existent. May they be pacified. May all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified. May the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified. May we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma. May all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma. May auspiciousness and perfect happiness pervade this place now.
Let us turn to page 35, 8 verses for training the mind, and a quick reminder that the Heart Sutra is primarily, we need to remember that the practice of the Dhamma, or growing yourself from unhappy person to a happy person, from non-sensible person to a very sensible person, from a very selfish person to a very compassionate person. So that requires the two factors to be introduced. One is the factor of the wisdom. We require to increase the knowledge, intelligence, not just intelligence with the proper and the precise, accurate knowledge. This is one side. And the other one is the compassion. We require these two things. For example, say in a family, as head of the family, to lead the family in a very conducive way, say there should be a dynamism in the head of the family, be it the mother or the father. There should be dynamism there. And this dynamism requires two things. One, the proactivity which makes the family move. And the other one's a vision. You should have the sense of direction, the intelligence, the knowledge, how to move the family in a constructive way. We should have the knowledge and the movement. So the knowledge part is known as the cognitive awakening, the enrichment. And the other one is effective enrichment, effective in the enhancement of your effective mental qualities. So these two things are, one is cognitive, one is effective. We require these two things to be nurtured. So the Heart Sutra which we read, this is to awaken the cognitive recognition of the reality. And now the 8 verses is to awaken the affective side of the mind. So here we see the affective, primarily the compassion. Why is compassion? Skillful compassion, not just compassion. Oftentimes people talk about the compassion fatigue, where you have been so compassionate, and then at times you see that the number of the people to whom you should show compassion is so huge, so massive, that you feel you are totally the incompetent, or the lack of the potential capacity. And number two, that some people, you're being so compassionate, and then people take advantage of your compassion. So we see that, okay, by being compassionate, I don't get anything. People take advantage of me. So the opportunist, they're so happy to see that you're compassionate, and they see your compassion as weakness. So this is where we need to think of what is known as the skillful compassion, not just compassion, but skillful compassion. Compassion where your happiness, your growth, your your well-being is not compromised. Without compromising your well-being, you take care of others. In the process, your well-being increases. That is known as the skillful compassion. So here, they are the same. What can potentially stop us from the growing with the skillful compassion? There are two factors. One is the ego, and the other one is the anger. Compassion embraces others, and the ego and the anger is to push others away from you. So pushing others away from you is the direct opposition of the compassion. So for those people who say, when you feel compassion, what's the feeling like? You like it or you don't like it? When you feel egoistic, anger, when you are angry, so what's the feeling like? Are you happy? Not happy? You are never happy. But you feel compassionate, there's a calmness in your mind. So the point is that to practice compassion, that requires to be at home. Just practice it. Charity begins at home. Practice compassion at home. So where you talk about compassion and you talk about I want happiness, but you're doing just the opposite to disrupt the cause of the happiness. The first thing that you do is that you make your mother unhappy. Just for your own selfish interest, you just disregard the interest of your mother, your father, your family members, and so forth. This is extremely selfish. So the compassion makes you happy, and selfishness destroys your happiness. Let alone destroying the happiness of others, it also destroys your happiness, the selfishness. So wise people, both the selfish people and the kind compassionate people, they both want happiness, but the kind people, they're wise. In other words, what they do, actually they give rise to happiness. Whereas unwise people, selfish people, they're extremely unwise in ways that what they do, they destroy the happiness. This is unwise. So this 8 verse for training the mind, this is a whole genre of teaching to teach us, to help us identify what are the discordant factors for cultivating compassion and what are the conducive factors for cultivating compassion. And particularly discordant factors, as I said earlier, selfishness and giving rise to the ego and anger, and identifying what are the factors which trigger anger within us, what are the factors which trigger selfishness, what trigger ego within us, identifying them and curbing the power of these factors which make you to give rise to the ego and the anger. Then these are mitigated. Once these are mitigated, it leaves room for your compassion to grow. So this is how this teaching, the 8 verses, just simply 8 verses, but we see that the rich material is being presented for us, how to curb ego and anger, and how to enrich expand your heart of compassion, where no external factors can defeat the power of your compassion. So in fact, the compassion defeats, and letting your compassion defeat all other external powers to otherwise make you unhappy. So with this in mind, and oftentimes people, when they read this 8 verses for training the mind, without these background information, they think that it's very self-denial. The practices, it simply takes, okay, I take the defeat, I give the happiness to you, I give the victory to you, and so forth. This is in a way, seems as superficially, the outward reading, superficial reading, I said that I give victory to you and so forth, is actually, I'll say, the curbing the power of your ego to shatter this ego, the shattered aim, the anger, all these are taught. They're not to curb your confidence. This is to increase your confidence by what really steals your confidence is the ego. Ego steals your confidence. Egoistic people, when others don't listen to you, they easily become angry. Anger is a sign of weakness. It's not a strength. But real compassion, skillful compassion, this is the greatest as a strength. Okay, with this mind, as we read this, we should be reminded of identifying the causes of ego and the cause of the anger, and how to curb, how to get rid of, dispel these causes, so that we don't give in to the anger and ego, and there is compassion. It leaves room for your compassion to grow, and you become happier and a happy person. Okay, with this mind, let's read the fall. Yes.
8 verses for training the mind by Geshe Langri Thangpa. With the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jeweled treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, May I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all this remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From my 2 collections, vast as space that I've amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. 7-limb practice, page 37. I bow down to the youthful Arya Manjushri. You, the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, gone to freedom in the present, past, and future, in the worlds of 10 directions. To all of you, with body, speech, and sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy of aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with the sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle are Buddhas numberless as particles, each amidst a host of bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with Buddhas in this way. With infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the aspects of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugatas. Beautiful flowers and regal garlands, sweet music, scented oils and parasols, sparkling lights and sublime incense, I offer to you, victorious ones, the Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Meru, all wondrous offerings in spectacular array, I offer to you, victorious ones. With transcendent offerings, peerless and vast, with profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, I offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I have done, with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these I openly lay bare before you. I lift up my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, of solitary realizers, hearers still training, and those beyond, and of all ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained a Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you are my guides, please turn the supreme wheel of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request you who may actualize parinirvana, please stay with us for aeons numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated, by making prostrations, offering, and confessing, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas stay and teach, I now dedicate all of this for the full awakening of all beings.
The next short metal offering. Next page, next page. Yes. Okay, we'll first say this in English, then the Tibetan. This ground adorned with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as the Buddha felt and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajibhe Cho. The four Dhammas of Venerable Kambopa. May I be blessed that my mind is directed to the Dharma. May I be blessed my Dharma practices on the proper path. May I be blessed path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. Becoming utterly frustrated with the ignorance that grasps at true existence. Please bless me to generate renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as visually as repulsive. Please bless me that my mind soon overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality of bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Rana Mandela Gamnerateyame. At the next page, the foundation of all good qualities by Lama Tsongkhapa.
Page 42. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous karmas follow. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please bless me always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, and great caution arise. The root of the teachings is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I have fallen into the sea of samsara, so have all other migratory beings. Please bless me to see this, train in supreme bodhicitta, and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the three types of morality, I will not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I've pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of calm abiding and special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training in the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gateway of the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. That time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows in Samaya. As I have become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and pledges like my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, the essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never giving up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who show the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives. Please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara.
Thank you, Shalini. Thank you so much. Okay, now we will do the main practice. Thus far, it's the preliminary plus the roadmap to enlightenment. Now is the main practice for this. Given that today corresponds to the Buddha's 3 very important deeds, enlightened deeds. Why do we need to, how do we commemorate the Buddha's life story? This is a very important point. And we all come from different places. We all came from different places to commemorate this day. And for example, like commemorating His Holiness's birthday, for example, like say July 6th, what corresponds to His Holiness Dharma's birthday. And then this year is going to be commemorated as the 90th birth anniversary of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So how do we what is meant by commemorating? What is the best way to commemorate that? And oftentimes people, the people who actually have a great reverence, who really, the wise people who really appreciate His Holiness's wisdom and his vision for the world, his compassionate vision for the world. So how they celebrate His Holiness's birthday and how the ordinary people celebrate His Holiness's birthday is very different. For ordinary people, it's just going to the pubs, okay, holiday, and then the picnics. This is how the people celebrate. Whereas the wise people, they celebrate by creating the awareness, the contributions of His Holiness, the compassionate vision for the world to come together in harmony, and how this how this can be made, and realistically speaking, how this can be made. So His Holiness left a lot of legacies to make this happen. And in this regard, the wise people will think of, say, creating the awareness of His Holiness's visions, compassionate visions of the wisdom, compassion, and what is the contributions that he actually made for the world peace. And this is what he was spreading to the world, and that the wise people will gather all this information and take this as an opportunity, the birth of His Holiness, 90th year of His Holiness anniversary. So this as an opportunity for the wise people to spread this message across the world, that the future world will be a better world, where all the people of the world citizens, they will all come together in harmony, rather than with conflicts, fights, tensions, and so forth. This is how the wise people commemorate the enlightened master, the enlightened beings' activities. Likewise, to commemorate the Buddha's the anniversary. So today corresponds to the Buddha's birth, and how to commemorate that. So for this, we need to remember, the most important thing is remember the Buddha's biography. And the Buddha's biography, it's a huge biography. Yes, it's huge. At the same time, there's one great Indian master by the name Acharya Dignaga, 6th century Indian master, and who just formulated the Buddha's biography succinctly in just 2 lines in Tibetan. This is just the 2 lines in Tibetan. In English, the one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit the sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, and protector, to you I make prostrations. Just 2 lines. That great Indian master, Acharya Dignaga, he formulated the Buddha's biography in just 2 lines. And 100 years later, another great Indian master came, Acharya Dharmakirti, and seeing these 2 lines, he was just mesmerized by the gravity of these 2 lines. So what he did, he composed a whole commentary on these 2 lines, just 2 lines, and a whole commentary with 283 verses. And today, if you have to read this, the commentary, 283 verses, you will not understand anything. Again, it requires more commentaries. There are 2 huge commentaries, again, on these 283 verses. So what I'm saying is that this is the wise people's way of commemorating the great enlightened masters, recalling their biographies, real biographies, not like, oh, the Buddha, they met with these 3 sides. These are for small children. Or the side of somebody who's sick, old age, death, and the mendicant. This is for the life story of the Buddha for small children, for the ease of the small children's understanding. Okay, this is Buddha, and depicting the Buddha as well, because small children understand in their own level. So depicting the Buddha as well, like he is actually what he is. Like, on the one hand, we say that he's so intelligent, and these stories tell us that depict as well, like the Buddha is very naive. Like even his charioteer was made more intelligent than Buddha. So the Buddha asked charioteer, "What is this old man? Is this something that will happen to me?" He knows that, of course. But these are stories how people depict the Buddha's biography. It's very simple for the small children. But Now, for the mature people, or wise people, for them, that biography is too simplistic. The real biography is depicted in these two lines by Acharya Dignaga. The one who is transformed into the reliable guide. Prince Siddhartha, as a young prince, so intelligent, very compassionate, eventually he became the guide to lead the whole world to the state of fearlessness, state of tearlessness, where all your tears, the tears of pain can be stopped completely. So you became such a reliable guide to lead the beings from the darkness of ignorance to the light of the wisdom, from the pain of the tears to the tearlessness of fearlessness, from the joylessness to the full infinite joy. This is what you have become. And how did you become one like that? First, you are motivated by compassion. The one who is driven, the one who has transformed a reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit all sentient beings. This compassion drove you to leave behind the palace life, royal life, and to the retire to go into the woods. Then what do you do there? Living behind the palace, what do you do there? Motivated by compassion. What did you do? He went in search of the path for him to teach to all the beings. So the teacher. Then the path that he discovered, the path to see the everything like a dream. So wake up. Don't think that the dream is real. Thinking the dream is real, there's ignorance. With the ignorance, you will be dominated by dream all the time, and dream will decide the plight of the situation, whether you're going to be scared or whether you will be just indulged and so forth. The dream is going to decide. It's not your choice. So wake up. Don't surrender to the dream. Don't surrender to the dream of the ignorance. Instead, wake up. So I found this the path to wake up from the dream of the ignorance, sleep of ignorance. Then Buddha experimented it on himself to see if it works. Then he discovered to himself to become the Sugata, the one who has gone to the perfect bliss of the purity. He experienced that himself. Having experienced that with his own experience, then he so confidently went out to protect the beings by showing the path that makes him the protector. So it says, the one who is transformed into a reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata, protector, I make prostrations. This is a biography for the evolved, more mature people, biography of Buddha. So keeping this in mind, what our job is what? If you really want to become one like him, who actually liberated himself from all the tears on the complex complexities, unnecessary complexities, painful complexities of samsara. So how many of you, both offline, online, how many of you, once in a while you think that samsara life is very complex, I want to leave behind everything and go in the wilderness, when nobody can know what I'm doing. Just raise hand. How many felt it once? Okay, so I'm quite amazed. Even the young people, there are a lot more incidents waiting for you, right? So it's just very complex, very complicated. Young ones, I'm quite amazed. Elders, okay. So you've met with this experience you have. But the young ones, you already have this experience of I'll leave everything. Then more intense versions will come. They're waiting for you. Okay, so the thing is that you don't leave for Himalaya. You're getting it? You don't leave. Don't go for the outside way. Don't go to the outside heaven. You have to seek the safe heaven inside yourself, not outside. Outside, the real problem creators, they are not outside, it's inside. Your ego, self-referential ego, and selfishness, ignorance, and the selfishness. These are the two things. As long as these two are there, wherever you go, okay, I want to leave everything behind and I want to go to a place when nobody knows, identify, I'll be very happy. So there, the two demons will come with you. Ignorance and selfishness, both will come with you. You go to Himalaya, at the Mount Everest tip, they will also come with you, right? They will also come with you. So wise people will not look for outside, safe haven outside. They look for the safe haven inside by eradicating these two demons. By eradicating these two demons, like the sound of a clap. Sound of a clap, say one hand symbolizing external factors and the other hand symbolizing internal factors, the two demons inside. External factors are innumerable number. But if you want to stop the clap, sound of the clap of the miseries, you have to stop one of the two hands. The hand symbolizing external factors, that is impossible that we can get it off. And external factors, they're innumerable in number, infinite in number. You cannot possibly get rid of all these external factors. So wise people will look to get rid of the internal factors. What internal factors? Only two. One is the ignorance and the other is the selfishness. Get rid of these two and you are left with only one hand. One hand, no sound. Sound of the misery stops. This is what the Buddha did. This is what Lord Ram did. This is what Jesus Christ did. This is what Prophet Muhammad did. This is what the great teachers such as Guru Nanak did, Bahula did. So all these enlightened masters of different traditions, they succeeded in removing their own hands. One hand, internal factors, and then with external factors, no sound of the misery, all the sound of the misery stopped. So this is what we need to remember. So with this in mind, our job is to say that what made this Prince Siddhartha succeed in this journey of remove all his tears of samsara, the pain, the tears of pains. How did they succeed? Motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings. Compassion is the key. Compassion. Then with his compassion, he went in search of the path, solution. Solution is wisdom. So wisdom and compassion, these are two things, if we can incorporate in our life, commemorating the birth of this enlightened master, enlightened teacher, Bodhicitta, if that inspires us to cultivate it within us, compassion, universal compassion, skillful compassion, and the wisdom, that is the purpose of commemorating this Buddha's birth. Okay, with this in mind, first we do is that now, how do we do it? Thus far, what we did is we tried to look for the preliminary practices to make these two things happen within us. And then the foundation of all good qualities, we created the roadmap to cultivating these two factors within us, the universal compassion and the wisdom. Now it's actual practice. For this, what we do is that first we'll do 5 minutes of the shamatha meditation or breathing meditation. 5 minutes. Ready? 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, next in place of the for the renunciation, usually we do the 4 seals. Now, because of constraint of time, we'll move to directly to the Bodhicitta. And even Bodhicitta, we do that. Ideally speaking, there are 2 methods to generate this unconditional love. And if you truly start to feel this unconditional love towards others, affection towards others, then your unnecessary tension, stress, they all dissolve. I would say that people who go through acute, the stressful situations, the practice of the unconditional love or the universal compassion, that be extremely be beneficial. Your stress level just go down on its own. That's going to be very effective. Otherwise, we tend to depend heavily on the antidepressants, and of course, it has a lot of side effects. Whereas with the practice of the universal compassion of Bodhicitta, naturally your stress level will go down, and the more so than your stress level going down, you feel that the joy expands, which we have never experienced before. You'll see that you're actually experiencing joy, very profound joy, which we have never experienced before in our life. At times, say, for example, if you as a little boy or a little girl, where you do not have any responsibilities, your parents are taking the responsibility for you, and your job is just eat, and then go to school, come back, enjoy, that's it. So even that time, you do not really experience the joy that those people who practice universal compassion, they feel. It's very profound joy. I would say that anybody who truly feels that the stress is a major issue in my life, and I want to get away from the stress, then why not you try this practice of the universal compassion? For this, there are 2 methods. One is known as the 7-fold cause-effect method to generate bodhicitta, and the other one is known as the method of equalizing and exchange yourself for others. These 2 methods are there. We have to practice the steps properly, and then you see that your heart is actually expanding, and small things which are otherwise would easily disturb you cannot disturb you anymore. So that is the power of this practice of the profound compassion. So these are the 2 methods there, but of course with the consideration of time now, we'll do the 4 immeasurables. That too, we'll do just the first 2 immeasurables, and for this is going to be guided meditation. So what we expect you to do is just follow the instructions, and then see how much you can invoke the respective experiences to the best you can. Ready? And for this universal compassion, we need to invoke the blessings of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas who actually embodied universal compassion. All the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni and His Holiness the Dalai Lama. But you are so loving, caring, and embracing. And then you are surrounded by your 2 parents and all of them members, including children, and all other dear sentient beings. First, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all my dear sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, witnessing that you're making such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you, like the mother after all these many years of raising children. Today, the eldest daughter, just age 12, and the eldest son, just age 11, 2 of them come to the mother, and you as a little girl, little boy, go to your mother, tell your mother that, mother, please take rest. You have done everything for us. We're already grown up. We'll take care of our siblings. Just believe it or not, but the mother would be so proud of you. This pride and happiness is exactly what is happening to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, to see that you're making such a courageous commitment on behalf of all the Dhamma sentient beings. So with this pride and joy, all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas feel, invoke their compassion mind to send for nectars, very soothing lights towards you and all Dhamma sentient beings. They may touch the lights and nectars, but the body brings you yours. instills on all happiness and the causes of happiness in the minds of sentient beings and yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all your demon sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my demon sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering? May all my dear sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The Buddha's Bodhisattva is witnessing you're making such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassion minds to send forth nectars of soothing lights towards you and all demon sentient beings. Their mere touch of lights and nectars with the body space yours. Frees the beings, washes away all the miseries and causes of miseries from the sentient beings in yourself. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening to all the demon sentient beings. You're intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Underscoring all the formations is the unconditional love towards all the beings. Just imagine that you are looking at the eyes of each sentient beings with total love and affection, to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in the eyes. With folded hands, let us make a Bodhicitta commitment 3 times together. 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. This is the most beautiful mind that possibly exists in the entire universe. And today you generated this. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into a spotless clean moon disk, horizontally sitting with a heart. Okay, it's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha. But then remember, no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I agree with this. But I'm not like a handful of sand. I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds, squeezing which oil does come out. I have Buddha nature. I have the seed of perfection within me. But if this were the case, how come that since time immemorial till today, it never was awakened? Now, what makes you think that this will be awakened today? Yes, thus far I've been deceived by the 2 demons, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. And today I'm in disillusion by these 2 demons. I've discovered that these 2 are not my friends. These are worst of my enemies. I'm going to do everything to exterminate these 2. What are you going to do to exterminate these 2? So that my Buddha nature be awakened fully. I'm going to resort to a very powerful remedy. What is the remedy? Wisdom of emptiness. Okay, so I'm going to, those of you who already introduced wisdom of emptiness, you can right away meditate on emptiness, emptiness of the self or emptiness of anything. And those of us who are new to this, I'm going to give, it's going to be a guided meditation. I'm going to give just a quick, a little bit of tour of the understanding of emptiness. Just as in the dream, just as in the nightmare, you are having a nightmare where you dream of a ghost chasing you. And why? So what is happening when the ghost chases you? That there's so much of fear within me. I just run for my life. Yes, there's no ghost there. But you see, the dream ghost is real ghost. seeing the dream ghost, real ghost, this is ignorance. Where we are driven by the ignorance, it makes us to believe in things which are not really there. And because of this, the dream ghost then scares us. Then it becomes extremely scary. It terrifies us. Yes. It's because of this ignorance. If you don't want to feel the fear of being chased by the dream ghost, you have to wake up. Wake up. In what way waking up helps you? Waking up helps you to identify that the dream ghost is not real ghost. It's empty of being real ghost. It's purely coming from a mind. The moment I come to discover that the dream ghost is just purely coming from a mind, it was not really there's a real ghost, my fear dissolves right away, right then. This is exactly what the Buddha taught, that not only dream ghosts, all phenomena, they're like dream. They all come from your mind. Amazing. If this is what I discover, then nothing can affect me. Just the dream ghost feel to affect me. If I discover that this dream ghost says purely my own mind, not really from the object. Yes, that's true. Nothing can affect you. That is known as a liberation. Liberation from the dream created by your own ignorance in the form the samsara, dream samsara created by own ignorance. This is known as a liberation from samsara. Amazing. So just imagine that just a dream goes, imagine that you wake up from the sleep to discover that dream goes just you're coming from your mind. Likewise, just imagine that you wake up from the sleep of the ignorance so that you discover everything that you encounter in your life, they're just part of your dream, part of your own mental projection. That all the fears, anxiety, stress dissolve. Stay in this experience for a while. This is wisdom of emptiness. Slowly transform this wisdom of emptiness into a spotless, clean, thumb-sized white vajra, vertically sitting on the moon-discovered heart. It's amazing that you have the Vajra moon. Moon symbolic of the conventional Bodhicitta, the aspiration, the altruistic intention to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. This will guarantee to eradicate the selfishness, self-centered attitude. And the Vajra is symbolic of the ultimate Bodhicitta, which is the non-dual wisdom of emptiness of the Arya Bodhisattvas, and this guarantees to exterminate all the mental defilements, both afflictive and cognitive obscurations, that your Buddha nature inside, your potential inside will manifest to the fullest, that you experience total fearlessness and infinite happiness. Okay, that's amazing. Meanwhile, let's not forget that your two parents, all of family members, your children, and everyone is suffering. Yes, generate a very strong compassion towards them. And this compassion invokes the Vajramuni of the heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one side of the Vajramon at the heart of your mother, one side with the father at his heart, one side with each one of family members, including children, one with each of the beings in your own country, in the world, with each of the beings, with each of the creatures in the vast oceans, ranging from the tiniest unicellular organism, amoeba, to the biggest of blue whales. Likewise, with each of the beings, the trillions of creatures in the wilderness, from the tiniest of the worms to the biggest of the elephants and so forth. Not everyone, health beings, human beings, everyone has a share of Vajramoon from you. Yes. Meanwhile, let us also not forget that all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas are watching us. Why not we invite all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to be the witness as well as the guests to undertake the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow on this very special occasion of the commemorating the Buddha's birth anniversary. So with this mind, as a gesture of making a request to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to be our witness and guest, let's slowly stand up to make three prostrations. Let's slowly stand up along with all demonstrations to make three prostrations, all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Okay, now let's see if you can sit on your right knees. If you can sit on your right knees, and let us turn to page 50. Page 50. Okay, this is the actual ceremony taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And okay, yes. I'm going to quickly explain the meanings of these three verses, because that, given that this is the main ceremony and most important occasion of our spending time together here, of both offline and online. If you don't know the meaning, then the purpose is going to be defeated. So the meanings is that I'm going to awaken the potential within my mind fully, and to do so, this is what is known as the full awakened state, or in Sanskrit known as Buddha. Buddha doesn't mean Buddhism. It simply means awakened state, where your potential is fully awakened. And to do so, it requires a lot of support. And the greatest of support that I can think of is somebody who's already awakened, the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha. So the first line says, I go for refuge to the Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And now this journey of awakening your mind, this journey involves the road. The journey involves the road, and the road, if the road is blocked by the boulders and the falling trees and so forth, you cannot undertake the journey. So this road is none other than your own mind. Your mind must be freed of the negativities, which are like the falling trees and the boulders and so forth. And the best way by which to remove these negativities is by confessing the negativities. The second line says, I confess the negativities individually. And now the road is clear, but if the car does not have fuel, again, you cannot undertake the journey. And this car is none other than your own mind. And this mind must have the inner fuel of the virtues. And best way by which to accumulate enormous amount of virtues within a short amount of time is by rejoicing in the virtues of others, virtues of yourself, virtues of others. Third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Okay, now the road is clear. The car is enough fuel. The next question is, what kind of journey are you going to undertake? The last line says, I'll hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, let's wholeheartedly say this verse 3 times together. Imagine that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, as you have requested, they so attentively came to be the witness for the ceremony. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. The next two verses is the main ceremony. The invoking all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Gurus, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to pay heed to you. And the first verse is about, in the history of the humanity, who succeeded in this journey to lead all beings from the state of darkness of ignorance to the light of the wisdom, from the darkness of the selfishness to the light of the cherishing, embracing all other beings the way the mother does to all her children. So who succeeded? Looking at the history of humanity, we see that 2,500 years ago, there was a young prince by the name Prince Siddhartha, and who succeeded in this. And how did he succeed? He succeeded by introducing two factors. The first factor is that he generated very strong, the driving force, the Bodhicitta, the motivation of the Bodhicitta, the creating a sense of the altruistic intention to become Buddha, to become fully awakened for the benefit of sentient beings. The first, the motivation. And then to materialize this aspiration of the Bodhicitta, he engaged in the other practices, Bodhisattva practices, such as 6 perfections and the 10 perfections. So generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditate concentration, and wisdom, and so forth. So it is how he succeeded, and I will then follow his footsteps. I'll also generate a very strong motivational motivation of the Bodhicitta, desiring to become cultivating a very strong motivation to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, which is Bodhicitta, and to materialize this aspiration, I'll also engage in the Bodhisattva practices. And at the end of the third repetition, imagine that you receive the Ashmoja Bodhisattva vow on the very sacred day, the Vesak day of the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and the Mahaparinirvana. Okay, with this mind, imagine again. Let us imagine that you are leading this practice, and all beings are joining us, including your parents, your children, and so forth. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated Mother Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in their Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Mother Bodhicitta, and likewise shall too successfully. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the Mother Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Mother Bodhicitta, and likewise shall too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the Mother Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelt in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise, for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the Mother Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy of having received the aspect Bodhisattva vow. We are extremely meritorious today, very fortunate today that on the sacred day of the Buddha's, the Vesak day, we generate this Bodhicitta. Just imagine that your parents, your mother, particularly your mother, after all this many years of receiving complaint from your school principal that you as a little girl, little boy, you're always being very mischievous, not in school, and school principal always comes to your parents. And your parents are always extremely unhappy. And today's school principal comes, and imagine that your mother, again, very apprehensive. What kind of complaint this time? The school principal says, no, we came to congratulate you. What for? That your little daughter and the little son, two of them are appointed the best students of the school this year. The mother couldn't believe her eyes and ears after all this many years of only hearing complaints. Today she's hearing something extremely good. It's exactly what happened to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas who are now here as a witness for our unveiling ceremony. They're so proud of you. Like the mother, how the mother felt, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas felt today. Since time immemorial till today, they only expect us to stop all the negativities, stop all the non-virtuous actions, stop all harmful thoughts, actions, and words, and so forth, so that you will not have to experience the pains of life. On the contrary, we continuously engage in harming others, thereby attracting miseries to ourselves all the time. And since time immemorial, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas only expect us to engage in the virtues so that you have the abundance of happiness. On the contrary, we are deprived of happiness due to our failure to embrace the virtues. Today, what you did is very different, and this is exactly the day that all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel so proud of you, and this pride and happiness the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel invoke the Vajramuni at their hearts to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, all these millions, trillions of infinite replicas of Vajramuni from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all these Vajramunis, replicas, trillions of these, the infinite replicas, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes at the heart of your mother, the father, each one of your family members, including children, each of the beings in your own country, in the world, in the whole Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe, all the creatures in the wilderness, all the creatures in the water bodies, all the beings, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Amazing. This is greatest of the offering. There's a gift that can possibly make to all your dear sentient beings. And today you have gifted them with this gift. And all the offerings, Buddha made it very clear that one moment of generating compassion far excels the gifts of the whole universe filled with gems like gold, silver, and so forth, and offered to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. If this were to be the case, what I mentioned of our having taken aspiration Bodhisattva today, This is no doubt the greatest of the offerings that you have made to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Amazing. And of your life, there's nothing more meaningful than what you did today. You've given such a meaning to your life, the purpose. You've extracted such a purpose out of your life. And all these wonders happen because of the blessings of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. So as a gesture of thanking all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas for making this happen, let's slowly stand up along with all demonstration makes to make 3 prostrations to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Okay, please take your seats. We're on page 5.1, page 51, the next page. Madam, back to us. Okay. So this practice of bodhicitta and the wisdom of emptiness is something so rare. For us to meet with such a practice, the teaching is so rare. And we have met with this teaching today. And the what about next life? Will we meet with the same teaching in the next life? There are 8 billion human beings. Out of the 8 billion human beings, you just go around and see how many of them heard about bodhicitta, how many heard about the whole world. Everything is like a dream, empty of intrinsic reality. Out of 8 billion human beings, only a handful of people heard this, and you are part of this. We're very, very, very meritorious. But how can we guarantee that we'll meet with the same teaching in the next lives? So to make this happen, we need to include that in the form of a very powerful prayer. So the next page is the next verse which you're reading. This verse, we're going to read it 3 times to make sure that we meet with the same 2 teachings of bodhicitta, the conventional bodhicitta and the ultimate bodhicitta in the future lifetimes. Let us wholeheartedly say this 3 times together. Imagine that you are inspiring all sentient beings to join you. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to hold the 2 precious bodhicittas even at cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the 2 precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized and awakened the mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha and now am one of Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakening mind has been born within me. Is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all poverty in the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tired on the path of conditioned existence, is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torments of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world, is the quintessential butter from the churn to the middle of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the abundance of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy, and it shall place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors and the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight, may gods, demigods all be joyful. Okay, now let us do the end prayer. no doubt on this sacred day of the Vesak, we accumulate so much merit by coming together and having to the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. And then by the power of this accumulation of the merit, let us dedicate this marriage to number one, the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true compassionate vision of the world peace for the world today and the future. And let the world pay heed to what the teachings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that there should be peace, there should be compassion in the world. Then everybody, not only one side, everybody should listen to this and then get a sense to it becomes attain sanity to see that there's no need for us to fight. We can live in harmony. There's no, without the sense of exclusivity, but with a sense of pure inclusivity of everyone. So, and also let us pray that the world, all the natural disasters should stop, and the man-made disasters also as well should stop, and the greed should stop. Greed is a major factor for all these man-made problems. The greed should stop. The greed eventually kills yourself. It doesn't kill others, it kills yourself. The first person to be killed by greed is yourself. And so His Holiness the Dalai Lama put it so beautifully. Look at how this greed is the one which destroys everything. So the interview asked His Holiness, what do you think is the most fascinating thing about the humanity, the human beings? His Holiness said that one thing that I don't understand about human being is that human beings, they work so hard, risking their health to get money. And after getting money, they lose their health. Now to get back the health, they lose again the money. This is the greatest irony of the human being. This is what His Holiness said. Look, this is where our intelligence is missing. Intelligent people will never do that. That money, risking your health. And finally, you get some money and your health is gone. And now you're sick, you cannot do anything. Then you pay all the money to the hospitals, pay all the money that you earned, hard-earned money to the hospitals to get back your health, and you will never get the original health. And this is our in the human being. So therefore, let's pray that the people of the world, they gain sanity. They gain sanity so that what they do is sensible. Instead of wars, they will go for harmony. This is so important for us, for the world. And all these, say, terrorism, all these things must stop by gaining a sense of sanity. This is so important. And let's pray that these teachings on compassion, understanding interdependency, actually spreads far and wide in the minds of every single individual, that this will automatically, will spontaneously stop all the evil thoughts, evil spirits, evil, harmful thoughts towards each other. So with this in mind, let us read the following verses. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that these in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas so 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight, may in all lives through the force of this merit never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that have amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdomized and blinded with ignorance. Okay, let's conclude by the reciting the Buddha's mantra. Okay. I'm going to see the sound. I'm going to say, until we don't wait till next occasion. Okay, so since we don't have it on the display for this, the praise to the Buddha, I'll chant this, and many of us who know how to chant this will chant with me, and then we'll recite the Buddha mantra at the end 5 times together. Abge tuje shage rizo chong shenge me to denge ponjong bom serge bo tabo jebe ko shage gebo de la chance no o mone mone ma mona swa 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 o mone mone ma mona swa. Okay, thank you. So now I hand over the stage to our program coordinator.
Thank you very much, Venerable Geshe Abdullah. And with this, we have come to the conclusion of today's evening event ceremony of undertaking the Aspirational Bodhisattva Pledge, along with Venerable Geshe Abdullah. And I would like to thank each and everyone who are present here, who are gathered here with us today, for taking out your time and your infinite devotion to Lord Buddha and all the Bodhisattvas, and obviously our spiritual master, Venerable Geshe Abdullah as well. And I would also like to thank all the online participants from the Zoom meeting, the Russian participants, the French participants, the Hindi participants, and the Ladakhi participants for their great participation in this today's evening event. And I would also like to thank Venerable Geshe Abdullah for his very profound words on promoting the universal peace and harmony in this world, as we all know that we are going through a very critical stage. So that's why it is very important for all of us to, to understand what Venerable Geshe Abdullah has said and implement on it. Thank you very much. And with this, I would like to request my colleagues to kindly come up near to the altar, as we would like to distribute this talk to all the physical participants who are present here. And as for the online participants, like we used to say always, that we would be very happy to have you to offer you this talk whenever you pay a visit to Tibet House. Thank you very much. And Tsog is actually a blessed item, as we have been undertaking the Aspirational Bodhisattva Pledge. So it is like an offering to the Bodhisattvas as well, and we are receiving that blessed in return. Thank you very much. And I would also like to make a special announcement also. Next month, we are going to have, Tibet House is organizing a one-day conference on ecology, which will be on 7 June 2025. So I would request all the participants to all of you to kindly register for this event. We will be opening the registration form by tomorrow. And I would also like to mention that yes, today, as we all know, that this year is supposed to be the year of compassion, as as a token of gratitude to the great legacy of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. So I would like to request all of you to kindly be attentive with our websites and all, as we will be sharing new updates and announcement with the variety of programs and events as a token of gratitude and dedicated to the long life legacy of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we have come to the conclusion of today's evening session. And I would request my colleague once again to kindly come up as we need to distribute the tour. And as for after that, as for the refreshment, we have arranged a sweet rice, which is called Desi, and some cookies for you at the reception area. So I will request all of you to kindly help yourself at the reception. Thank you very much and have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Okay, some young ones, please come up to help our staff to distribute the blessed edibles. Do it quickly, that everybody gets to share of this, what is known as stock, the blessed edibles, blessed by all Buddhist Bodhisattvas after our having taken the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. So this is for all the participants, the offline participants.
Hello. And may I request all the participants who would like to have a quick audience with Venerable Geshe-la to kindly stand in a single queue, and you can have an audience with Venerable Geshe-la. Thank you.